Greetings and welcome back, operators, to Invisible Ink. Now, for those of you who haven't seen my original Let's Play of this, which was done during early access, I will include a link in the video description below and possibly a little annotation up here somewhere so that you can click there if you want to see what the game was like before it was first released. My original Let's Play was a blind run, and I'm pleased to say I managed to complete it, though I'm sure that the game has gotten significantly harder since then. But yes, we are back with Invisible Ink, which is recently, very recently, as in about 2 days ago, released. And it is time for us to see exactly what has changed since the last time I played it. I have a pretty good idea as I've been keeping up with the patch notes, and I've even seen the game a little bit since it released. I was contacted by Clay a couple of days before release, and I was sent over an evaluation copy of the game, but now it's time for me to share those wonders with you. So we're going to be playing a game. We're going to be starting a new game. There we are. Good. There has been significant enhancements to the general UI, to just the atmosphere and interface of the game that I'm sure those of you who saw my original Let's Play will appreciate significantly.
Operator, we have a delicate situation here. Decker found himself some trouble on his day off. Something involving a whiskey bar and his big loud mouth.
No women?
He's usually better at covering up after such indiscretions, but this time FTM security got the drop on him.
Oh, those scallywags.
Non-market augments, and now they're curious about where he got them. I'd like to leave him to sweat it out for a while, but we can't have this coming back on us. We're going to break him out. Incognito has activated his fail-safe neural uplink. I'm patching you through now.
Fantastic.
There he is. Wake him up.
Okay. Now I am going to go through the tutorial.
Again. Let's make sure he can walk.
Wow. I mean, you know, a gentleman of Decker's particular persuasion can't help these little incidents here and there. It's all a bit of fun, you understand. But I am going to go through the tutorial, even though I have gone through the tutorial in my original Let's Play. For those who are brand new to the game, it's not a very long tutorial, and it does cover pretty much everything you need to know in one neat little mission. So, let's move the agent around.
Let him catch his breath. But don't dally. They'll notice our intrusion soon.
Indeed. Now, I'm probably not going to read over all of this, but you'll very quickly be able to see that this is just flat out a turn-based game. Anyone who's played something like XCOM will be fairly familiar with this. We're going to end our turn now. We'll regenerate our movement points. Now, the blue highlight on the ground lets us know where we can move with the movement points we have, and if you move somewhere, it'll tell you how many movement points you'll have left when you arrive at that destination. Good to keep in mind, because as you get through the game, you'll learn how many points you're going to need to perform certain actions, so that will be very, very useful.
We don't have visibility on the hallway. You'll have to manually check for hostiles.
Indeed, and it'll cost 1 turn as well, or rather 1 AP.
Get him out and be careful not to alert the guard.
That's fine, the guard isn't looking this way. Now, normally, if you were playing this regularly, you'd want to pass a turn and just keep an eye on the guard, see if he turns around, because most of them will. Now, we are going to want to approach the guard, but after we have equipped ourselves properly. There we go. Now.
Good. Now approach the guard from behind and neutralize him.
Fantastic. Will do. Gonna have to end our turn first. Well, it's about to get a lot faster, my friend. There we go. Now we can KO. It'll only cost 3 KO security guard. Where's let's have a look at this. 3 turn down, 3 turn cooldown on using this for us, and it'll knock them out for 3 turns. So you could stun lock someone completely. There we go. Now, units that are knocked out will will wake up several turns later. Guards will become alert and begin hunting the level for your agent. So if you find a guard that you don't need to knock out, leave him be. Because it's better that especially if he's just a stationary guard, it's better just to leave him there. If he's a patrolling guard and you can avoid the entire patrol route that he's going to have, or you can manage moving through it, then don't disrupt him, because it's better if he's just carries on with his business and you carry on with yours. Only knock out guards if you can't get past any other way. Now, if you stand on them, and this is quite important, it'll postpone their recovery. They won't get up in 3 turns. It'll basically stop the countdown for when they get up at all. And you can use your agents to basically pin people down. You can also drag them around if you really want to.
But effective. Proceed to the next door.
After we pick his pockets, I will be taking that Medigel. Oh yes. There we go. He will be up in 2 more turns. Always look through doors. It costs you nothing to have a peek.
Close the door to cover our tracks.
Indeed.
If they catch us, we'll lose uplink again.
Now, I'm not entirely sure if when he gets up, he will prioritize checking out this because he'll remember the door should be closed. But if an agent sees a door open, like when they're just moving around, and they notice a door open in their turn, they're looking that way and the door opens, as long as they can't see you, if they can see you, they'll flat out know you're there and then immediately come to investigate. But if you just open the door and perhaps you're stood around the corner, then the guard will be, and will wander over, and that's a good opportunity for you to actually take them out as they come through the door.
We're going to need power in order to hack their system. Jack that console for a quick boost.
Indeed. There we go. Now, you'll notice that Deckard is actually back against the wall here. You'll see a couple of these little icons. They're like eyes with shields. It means they can take cover in that direction. Now, obviously, if he's stood there using this wall as cover, and someone comes through this door, they're just going to flat out see Deckard. But if someone was stood here, Deckard would be invisible to them. Generally speaking, the cover works along angle. So if someone could see him from this direction, if someone is above him in this direction, then the cover will protect him. Even if they're over there, he'll still be covered because they're below this point. If they were stood there, they'd see him easily because his cover is only protecting him from things in below this point in this part of the screen. But like there aren't angles so much. So someone could be stood over here, assuming there wasn't a wall there. They still wouldn't see Deckard because they are still below this line that's cutting the field of play in half, if you like.
Good. That'll help us bypass any security devices we encounter.
Fantastic. And picking at open doors reveals more information. Indeed it does. Now, we could open it and then have a look through. In fact, we will. And then peek. There we go. Use Incognitia to access the corporate mainframe and disable their security devices. Now, this is a very big part of the game.
It'll alert the whole building. We need Incognita to hack it.
Indeed. Now, this is probably one of the largest tactical parts of the game. By activating Incognita, we go into like a sort of Matrix hackery kind of overlay of the level, and we can use Incognita to interact with wireless devices. The agency has provided you with Lockpick 1.0, allowing you to hack 1 firewall for 2 power. That is good. This has 1 firewall, so we want to break that with our Lockpick 1.0. There we go.
Camera compromised. Its eyes are ours now. Let's keep moving.
Now, what she says there, its eyes are ours, is quite significant. We now actually own the camera. We haven't simply turned it off. We are now receiving its video feed, and it's no longer patching any alarms through to the corporation that we're fighting against in this mission. So that would allow us to keep an eye on a certain room, and it's sometimes worth hacking cameras, even if you have no intention of going into the room, simply so you've got eyes in that room, because the enemies won't notice that the camera's been compromised. Even though it's on our side, they won't notice that it's feeding to us and not to them. So they might be walking back and forth completely oblivious, but we would know exactly where they are all the time.
Caution is our friend, operator.
Indeed it
Get
is.
into position beside that door and scout the next room.
Now, I'm keeping an eye on this door because when that agent wakes up, it might come through it. There we go. Now, this is what I was mentioning with opening the doors to distract them. Distracting the guard will cause them to investigate on the enemy's turn.
That guard doesn't look like he's moving.
Indeed.
Let's give him a reason to, shall we?
Now, there are two types of things that the guards will do. They will, when they're active and they're hunting, you'll notice little points of interest on the map occasionally, and that means that the guard is going to be trying to go there to investigate that point of interest. He doesn't know if there's anything there, he's simply just picking a random place and he's going to go and have a look around. Now, you can do things to give them specific points of interest, like this.
You see that?
All right, he's coming.
See that there?
Make sure Decker's ready for him.
Indeed. Now, the guard has a very specific point of interest and is going to investigate down on the next turn. He's going to move all the way down there. What we're going to do is we're going to turn on the ambush mode. Now, we don't have a direct target right now. Instead, we've told Deckard, if the opportunity presents itself to you, attack. And that is exactly what's about to happen.
Nice work. We're almost there.
Thank you.
Keep out of sight and we should be able to get out of there in one piece.
Sorry about this. Now, one thing to be aware of. Deckard was able to stun that enemy as it came through the door, and that's quite a common thing you're going to be able to do against pretty much most enemies. However, if the enemy has an opportunity to see you before stepping into your kill zone, the enemy will stop and it will respond to you. It won't just carry out its turn and then react. It'll stop the moment it can see you and then will immediately have you pinned. It can make things get very, very difficult very, very quickly. So do be aware that whilst ambush is very useful for catching them unawares, it's not as useful for just trying to take someone out in a fight. If they get eyes on you before they're close enough for you to attack, then things will go very, very badly. Even if I believe that some enemies actually have like 180-degree arc of awareness. I think that sometimes they can spot you as soon as they move into a tile. I'm not sure if there's ever a case where they will get the first move in that scenario, but it's probably worth keeping in mind all the same. But definitely don't plan on someone just because they've got a point of interest here and they're coming from over there. Don't assume that they're going to get here before they try to reevaluate the situation. They'll reevaluate it here when they're facing you, and you'll probably die. Now, I believe the first time I played this tutorial, I felt a bit of professional courtesy was in order, and although Deckard can't literally lay the guard on the couch, we'll do our best to leave him there nice and comfy, like. You know, when he comes through, he'll be a bit groggy, a bit unhappy about being tasered. So, you know, he can just pull himself up onto the couch for a few minutes and, you know, just catch his breath. He may be our enemy, but there's really no reason for us to be a dick to him. This is just a job, after all. He's doing his, we're doing ours. We're doing ours better, but, you know, still. Alright, I want to have a look at what's going on in here, please. There we go.
Hold up. Incognito has detected danger around the next corner.
Indeed. Now, we want to peek around here. We can't. We don't have enough points at the moment, unfortunately. There we go.
We should have enough power left for Incognito to bypass that hardware.
Indeed we do.
Alright, let's keep moving. The teleporter is just up ahead.
Teleporter? It was a lift before. My lord, they've gone high-tech suddenly. Hiding in blind spots. Okay, cover objects create blind spots one tile behind them. Now this is very nice.
The disruptor won't work on him.
This is also new.
Use his blind spots to slip by.
This was not in the original tutorial. Now, I'm really liking the UI enhancement there, so I can see exactly what a blind spot is. Because before, you couldn't. You had to just mouse over it, and you'd get a different sort of cage around that tile. For example, it's an orange cage there, a red cage here. We would be seen by the enemy here. It's actively being watched. Here, it would be noticed. So the guard would make this a point of interest and then would walk over there on the next turn. But here, completely hidden. That's very interesting indeed. Oh, we don't have enough turns. Have you woken up? Yes, you have. I can't see with you with that camera, but this is the point of interest for that security guard. Now, again, this covers the way that cover angles work. You might think this guard should easily be able to see us because of the angle, but because our back is against a cover which is splitting the room in half from here, this is an area where we're completely hidden, and this is an area where we're completely visible, we're fine. We can move diagonally, so we can just move to this cover, and now the room is split. This area, we're completely visible, but this area is completely hidden to anything else. Oh, we'll just move one at a time then. There we go. And once we get here, we're completely out of the line of sight. Now, the other thing to be aware of is this very red cone. I guess it's a little bit hard with the footprint of where we can walk. But this very, very heavily shaded cone is the active sort of field of vision, the focused part of this guard's field of vision. Whereas the less shaded, the darker part of the cone is the peripheral vision. And that's what marks the difference between whether this is actively being watched or simply they'll notice movement in their periphery and then go and investigate it on the next turn. But if I were to move here, flat out, I would immediately notice me and the guard would go into perhaps an overwatch stance, where if I were to take another move within its field of vision, it would attack, things like that. So very, very important to keep aware of.
That looks like the last of the security detail.
Okay.
Observe his movements so there are no more surprises.
This is very new. And this thing with the teleporter, I hope more levels have a teleporter, because in my Let's Play, there was one level in particular, those who watched it will know exactly what I'm talking about, where I came a cropper of the fact there was a lift, and the fact that it took time to go up and back down again. Bad times those were. Okay, we're just going to keep an eye on him. If we have observe...
Looks like he's patrolling. No trouble as long as we stay behind cover and out of his sight.
Now, this is quite an important one. If you click on Observe, it will take a point from you, but you will know where they're going in the next turn, which is very, very important. Now, we're just going to slip in here, close that, and then over there. Now, with patrols, they only have 2 points, and they will patrol between those 2 points without fail. They will spend one turn moving from point A to point B, and then the next turn they'll move from point B to point A, and it'll cycle back and forth. As far as I'm aware, unless they've changed it and there are 3 point or more point patrols in the released version, but in the early access they were only ever 2 point patrols. Now I can just flat out walk all the way over here. I don't have to worry about it anymore. There we go, and exit the level.
We're done here. Rendezvous with International and get ready for the next mission. We've
Fantastic.
got a lot more work to do.
Now, as with many other games by Clay, and actually a few games these days, there is a system of global unlocks in this game. You will be gaining EXP, gaining credits, things like that. Credits actually have use in your main mission. In the mission, you'll have an opportunity to spend any credits you come across, and that's why I was picking pockets as we were going. But you generate EXP over time, and when the game ends, whether you won or lost, you'll kind of get a global EXP amount, which will unlock new things that you can use in future games. In my first Let's Play, as I won, I unlocked everything that was available in that first run. I never did come back to play it on camera as I intended to and test out all of the different characters, and unfortunately with the release, it seems those characters, all that progress is gone. So we're going to be playing with Decadent International all over again, but there may be an opportunity for us to unlock new characters within the mission. I'm not sure that there is that possibility. I hope that is going to be possible. But net worth 1,575. Fantastic. Okay, campaign generation. For players just starting out, if you are new to Invisible Ink, we suggest selecting this mode. This mode is designed to teach you the unique mechanics of the game and will still provide a formidable challenge. We don't need that. 5 rewinds. A rewind will allow you to turn back time to the beginning of your previous turn. Setting 0 rewinds will set your game in Iron Man mode. Well, of course, that's how we're going to be doing it. Show settings. Toggling this button will show all the settings used to generate the campaigns. Changing any of the options will set it to custom, advanced, expert plus, endless. Ooh, endless plus. Oh, that's kind of cool. We'll go with experienced. Things are starting to heat up. Now that you have a better hang of the game, the corporations are tougher and we're pulling away the safety net. No more level retries. Your every action counts. Or expert. This is the base difficulty and tuning for the game. It assumes you understand the mechanics of the game well and pulls no punches. This is, of course, what we're going with. We're not even going to have any rewinds. This is Iron Man mode, damn it. That's how I played it in my first Let's Play, and that's how I'm going to play it now. Unless this is what this is. This mode is a bit ridiculous. Are you ready? We hide the danger zones if you can't see the sources. In addition, the alarms increase when knocking out guards, and you start with less power. Okay, yeah, that sounds a little bit silly. We're going to be going without that, and we're not going to be having any rewinds. We're not going to have any level retries. Where's the fun in that if there's no consequence for failure? Mind you, the consequence for failure here is death, so I guess that's a bit bad. Still, I feel we need that kind of risk to be able to get the blood pumping, the adrenaline flowing. Start the game.
Get to the main server, collect the data, and get out. No detours.
Copy that, Central.
Proceeding to target. Insertion was clean. Alarm level holding
I wouldn't
steady.
call that clean.
We need to get to the 3rd floor. We can make our way to the server room from there.
Fantastic.
Any chatter on the comms?
Negative. It's silent on all frequencies.
They should have detected us by now.
Receiving priority 1 transmission.
They're onto you. Get out. Get out of there.
Oh dear. Oh wow. Oh wow. Good bodyguard is good.
HQ compromised. We're going to need an extraction. I've got Incognito. Deckard and International are on their way.
Get to the roof. I'll cover you.
I can see what's coming.
Go!
Decker, how long till extraction?
30 seconds.
Oh wow. Decker's voice is deeper than I expected. Am I the only one who thinks Deckard looks like Inspector Gadget? Because if I am, well, I don't know. Odd, I guess, but I hope I'm not.
We've got work to do.
Indeed. Now then, we've got a proper story and everything. Ah, fantastic. Things have changed. And I'm hoping you're going to be looking forward to exploring those changes with me in the coming episodes. But that is it for this one. Just a quick what's changed, how to play the game recap for those who may have forgotten or those who've never seen the game before. I am looking forward to playing this. And we'll find out exactly what I do here, if there's really that much I can do. I guess I could afford to do a little... I could randomize things? That's crazy. But we'll check that in the next episode. I do hope you've enjoyed this one and will be joining me for the next. But until then, and as always, do take care.